Hello everyone, and today I want to talk to you about the Blood of the Dead Easter egg and what I think could potentially happen, because there was a line of dialogue which I'll share with you guys, but obviously there's a spoiler warning. So basically, I haven't done the Easter egg so I can't show the cutscene, but Richtofen says in the last few lines where he's blabbing on about staying alive that he was the nicest Richtofen, because he says I was the nicest one and they won't even remember, which implies that the Richtofen you leave with, we know who he is. Well, everyone's got this theory that he's the one out of Revelations, which he could be. He could also be a clone of that one though, or some, like, it might not be him at the same time. So he could actually be evil, because Richtofen says I was the nicest one. So he says that, which means. Yeah, and we saw him meet other Richtofens before, like in the side of this game, in the first cutscene, you see him meet itself. So it could mean that he knows what was about what's going to happen, and that's why he wanted to stay alive. But he's also very selfish, so he could have just been saying it for that. But at the same time, him saying I was the nicest one kind of shows how selfish the post-Revelations Richtofen is, because he went through the entire, like, basically, if you don't know what I'm on about, post-Revelations Richtofen is the one in the Knight Armour, I'd like to say. And basically, why he's selfish is because this entire process of going to Alcatraz to get the blood for Blood of the Dead was an insurance policy, and it is the only way that Richtofen could stay alive, because the cycle would go on. And now they've done it, the cycle's obviously continued, but now they've broke it. So the whole reason that Richtofen, basically, this is going to sound confusing, that Richtofen, so not this one, that Richtofen went on with the plan like normal, so just to keep himself alive, and then basically what he's done is he somehow, we don't know how, he's ended up frozen with this rock. It could be the Fire Staff Stone, it might not be, it's more than likely not. And he ended up frozen anyway. And then when he ended up frozen, he's basically came into this universe when he got woken up and robbed this Richtofen's place, if that makes sense, and it proves how bad he is.
I think I once believed this island was a bit too small for my needs. We have a lot of ground.
So basically, it just shows how nasty, well, how spiteful the other Richtofen is, the one that took this Richtofen's place. If that makes sense. I don't know if it did. I tried to explain the best I could for you lot, but yeah, basically, I hope you kind of understood what I was going at, because I don't think that I think the new Richtofen might actually be a bit of a dick. Like the Post-Revelations Richtofen, I think he's a bit of a dick now after what we saw in the ending cutscene, because he could have, like, there's enough ether in that machine to have one portal, yeah. Quite easily, right? Because if you don't understand what I mean, basically Richtofen had to drain this Richtofen had to go into this machine to have his blood drained so they could open up a gateway, right? And because he had his blood drained, he died. But he could have, halfway through it, he could have been brought back alive, and he could have, well, not brought back alive, he could have been released from the machine, and it still would have powered up at least, I'd say, one portal, because there's 4 portals in the end cutscene. And basically, it might be that he needed to have 4 portals because they might be going to 4 different directions, but it could also be that they might have only needed 1 portal. So yeah, so he could have kept this Richtofen alive, and this Richtofen could have gone with them, but for some unknown reason, well, no, not for some unknown reason, because part of the reason was because he might have needed it to maintain the portal. The other part was because that Richtofen is quite selfish, because he went through with the plan in the first place, that Richtofen. Because what you got to bear in mind is that Richtofen's been through the entire cycle already.
Damn it, Edward, think! Yes, this looks bad, but something can be done. Any book that rewrites itself can be rewritten. First rule of interdimensional time travel. I'm so confused.
Unless there's more than one ending. Because there could be.